In 2016, a story came out of Afghanistan that captured the imagination of people around the globe. It was the kind of story that sounded so unbelievable that many thought it belonged in a movie scene or a dramatic commercial, not in real life. A man found himself staring at death itself when a bullet was fired at him at close range. In that moment, survival seemed impossible. Yet, in a twist of fate, he lived. But what saved him was not body armor, not a miracle shield. Not even luck alone, it was something far more ordinary. A Nokia 301 phone sitting in his pocket. The bullet struck the phone, lodged itself deep inside, and never reached his body. That single moment transformed a simple piece of everyday technology into a lifesaver, proving that Nokia's legendary toughness was not just a joke or a meme, but something real. This incident was more than just about a bullet hitting a phone. It showed how an object designed for communications, something millions of people around the world carried casually, could end up being the barrier between life and death. For that Afghan man, the Nokia 301 became more than just a device to call family or send text messages. In that instant, it became his personal armor. The story spread rapidly across news outlets, blogs, and social media, with people everywhere calling it yet another Nokia miracle. Some laughed, others admired, but everyone agreed on one thing: the old legends about Nokia's durability suddenly had a real-life example. To understand why this incident had such a powerful impact, we need to rewind a little. Back in the late 90s and early 2000s, Nokia wasn't just another phone brand, it was the phone brand. If you owned a mobile phone during that time, chances were high it had Nokia written on it. Their devices were popular not just because they were affordable and easy to use, because they were durable, really durable. While other phones cracked, scratched, or failed when dropped, Nokia phones often survived with barely a mark. The most famous of them all, the Nokia 3310, became a pop culture icon. Remembered to this day as the indestructible phone. Over the years, memes and jokes exaggerated this toughness. People joked that Nokia phones could survive nuclear explosions. They could be used as hammers, or that they were more durable than tanks. Entire generations laughed and shared images of cracked floors, with the caption, "Nokia was dropped here." While most of these were jokes, they came from real experiences. Most everyone had seen a Nokia survive drops and accidents that would destroy other phones. So when the story from Afghanistan came out, it didn't feel like a coincidence, it felt like confirmation. The unbreakable phone had actually saved a man's life. Now let's think about it. A bullet is one of the fastest and most destructive forces on Earth, designed to penetrate, to damage, and to kill. For a small mobile phone to stop it, that's extraordinary. Of course, physics and luck played their part. The angle of the shot, the speed of the bullet, and the exact placement of the phone all mattered. But the undeniable truth remains: without that Nokia 301 in his pocket, the man may not have lived. And this wasn't the only story of its kind. Over the years, there have been reports of phones stopping bullets in different parts of the world. In Brazil, a man survived an attempted robbery because his phone absorbed the impact of a gunshot. In Florida, another person credited his phone with saving his life during a shooting. Wallets, books, and even coins have been known to do the same. But the difference here was clear. The Nokia case wasn't just survival, it was survival tied directly to a brand already famous for being tough. That connection between reputation and reality is what made this story so powerful. For years, people had laughed at the idea of Nokia phones being unbreakable. But here was living proof that toughness wasn't just a meme. It could actually mean the difference between life and death, beyond the memes. This story also makes us reflect on our relationship with technology. Most of us see our phones as tools, important, yes, but replaceable. They break, they get outdated, and we buy new ones. But in rare cases, they become much more than that. For the Afghan man, his Nokia wasn't just a way to stay connected. In that moment, it became his shield. And that shield gave him a second chance at life. There's also a symbolic side to this story. Afghanistan in 2016 was still a place where violence and conflict were daily realities. Survival often came down to chance. In that setting, it wasn't advanced armor or high-tech defense systems that saved the man. It was a modest mobile phone device that millions of ordinary people owned. This makes the story not just about Nokia, but about the unpredictability of life itself. Sometimes protection comes from where you least expect it, and that's why the story went viral. People love stories of resilience and survival, especially when they carry an element of surprise. The idea that a Nokia could stop a bullet was both humorous and inspiring. It was funny because it matched the memes people already knew. It was inspiring because it involved a real man who got another chance at life by 2016.
Wow, Nokia
Was no longer the giant it once was. Apple, Samsung, and other brands had taken over the market with their sleek smartphones. But this single story reminded the world of what Nokia once stood for: durability, reliability, and toughness. It reignited nostalgia, making people remember their first phones, the long battery lives, and the days when durability mattered more than screen size. From another angle, this story fits into a much older tradition of survival tales. Throughout history, there have been countless stories of soldiers saved by objects they carried: a Bible in the chest pocket, a medal, a coin, or even a notebook. These stories capture the randomness of fate, the way small objects can stand between life and death. The Nokia 301 belongs in this tradition. Just as a Bible once stopped a bullet in war, so too did a simple phone save a man in modern times. In the end, the story of the Nokia 301 is not just about a phone or a bullet, or even about survival. It's about resilience, about chance, and about the strange ways technology interacts with our lives. It shows us that sometimes legends are not exaggerations. They are born from truth. And maybe that's the biggest lesson of all. Toughness isn't just a feature. Sometimes toughness means survival. So the next time you see an old Nokia lying around, scratched, outdated, and forgotten, don't dismiss it. Remember that once in Afghanistan, one such phone stopped a bullet. Remember that it wasn't just a meme, but a true story of survival. Nokia didn't just build a phone, they built a legend. And that legend continues to live on, not just in jokes, but in real-life miracles.